Welcome back to Two Queens and a Joker, my narcissist ex and me. I'm Brenda.
I'm Sarah.
You know what? I want to know if anyone is listening that's not gone through a narcissistic abuse, custody issue, or any of this, divorce or anything. What does a normal person act like? Because all of the narcissists that I'm aware of and our shared narcissists do the same thing. They don't care about the kids. They'll do anything and just despite the mother of the child. Are there people out there that say, yes, I should pay this in $700 not enough? This is Southern California. It's absurdly expensive here. Let me give you more.
I
Does-
bet there are, because there's amazing dads out there for their children. They don't have to like the ex, but they
yeah.
love their children. They're there to support their children. Like, you hear those stories that, the mom's having a hard time and all of a sudden the ex or the dad shows up with groceries and pays like the bill. How fucking amazing is that?
That seems like a fairy tale.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I call them, stories, because I mean, it should be life, but they're stories because it's far and few between for most people.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, am I jaded? I think I am somewhat jaded just because I hear this all the time. This is the work that I do. So, I mean, I'm just entrenched in it all the time. And of course, my own experience. I just, are there stories where there just isn't a villain? My divorce from Carrie, so amicable. We just we got on the phone. We agreed things. I didn't want his house. He didn't want anything I had. We just agreed to it all. And then we got on another call with a judge and he said, sure, you agree with all this? Yep. And we were done. They granted the divorce. Carrie and I don't have kids together. The kids that he was stepdad to were grown by the time all this happened. But
One with the court-appointed mediator who took the place of the judge, and even he said that the Joker was being ridiculous, that I was giving way too much, that he wasn't taking, and he's the one that said, "Don't you ever give up child support, ever. Not the back. You don't include that in anything. That is yours. That is owed." It's basically he took a loan out and he needs to pay you for it because this is money you've already paid for those children.
that's a very good point.
Yeah. It's not I lived off it. It's how I supported the children for those 5 years, and he's paying me back a minuscule amount
Mm-hmm.
of that.
Yeah.
It's not for the future. It's
for expenses that have already occurred and lots of them.
I spend about $1,200 a month at the grocery store.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. So,
It's just outrageous. And with him, so here's round 3 for him, right? He didn't pay shit for Alex. You paid for Ian, as it turns out, but he did everything he could to get out of that. And now here he is, family number 3, that he's no responsibility, no accountability.
he's a good guy. He's a good dad. Remember?
He's
Pictures to prove it.
What a joke. I hope that, I mean, I don't know if this is even a thing, but can the lawyers bring in he already got me to erase the arrears that he owed for child support, and now he's trying to do it again. So, can the lawyers bring past history up in cases like this? Do you know?
I'm sure they can because we have documentation. I should show you. When in I think it was 1991
Huh?
of the police showing up at your house and all the charges for him.
I don't
And
remember
it
even
goes,
which incident.
it's like, and I think she said, "We'll take this into account," but it is like whatever so many years ago. And then my lawyer goes, "It goes to show who he is. Here he was
Yeah.
there, and he's repeating his patterns again."
Good. I'm really glad to hear that.
So I
I
didn't
don't
think
know
about
what
that for the child support thing, though. Thank you for bringing
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and girl, I've got your back. I will write a letter, I'll testify in court, I'll do whatever you need.
Like one of the doctors at work, not being malice or vicious when he was asking, he's like, "Why don't you just take him off child support? He's not doing it anyway. Why don't you take him off?" And I said, "Why?" And he's like, "It's obviously causing stress in your life, thinking about it." And I said, "Okay, I see your point. I do. And in a better world, absolutely. But we could use that money. My children and I could use that money.
Of
We could have
course.
used it back then, but we definitely can use it now. Because if you think raising little kids is expensive, teenage years and
Yeah.
early adulthood, oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine. So no, I don't want to give him that free ride. Absolutely. I am holding it on my own, but barely. I'm barely. We are scraping by. I still live paycheck to paycheck. I have to say no to my kids if they not need, if they want something. And I feel bad because I shouldn't have to say no. I should be able to go, "Yeah, let's get that. You deserve that. You're doing amazing. Let me get that for you." I have to stay within a certain budget, and I went way out of budget because I had to get credit cards to pay for food, to pay for school supplies, to pay for kids' clothes, all that kind of stuff, and I'm trying to get those paid off because credit cards are horrible. And I'm like, "What happens if my car breaks down? I have all these credit cards, so I can't get a car because my debt to income ratio will be so far off." But I mean, if I didn't have those credit cards, we would've starved. We would've lost everything. Yeah, but the house that I've been paying for 5 years that he's so, interested in getting, scot-free, would have been gone. If I would have left it the way he had it, just not paying the mortgages, it would have been gone years ago. But I'm the villain.
I remember that story. I remember when he had gotten the house payments really far behind. I just remember him working with the bank and somehow pulling something out of his ass, getting the bank to cooperate with something. And I thought, how does he get away with this shit?
Yeah. Well, what he wasn't paying the mortgage. He was
Hmm.
doing whatever bullshit he was doing, the drugs, alcohol, whatever. And then
Hmm.
he would take money out of the 401k when they would send us foreclosure notice. Because it didn't happen once. It did not happen. Like, this is not something new with him. It's probably 2, 3. I think it was 3 before this last one that we got almost foreclosed on because he just didn't pay the bill. It was more important for him to go clothes shopping to get the outside appearance of, well, I'm in a band, I'm cool, I'm awesome, I need all that stuff. And I'm going, crying over here, going, no, we can't really do that, but I don't have a say. I don't have a say. So like the last one we got, in 2020, he was good in 2019. He was paying some of the mortgages, and then he was paying some in 2020 with the 401k he took out, some of the mortgage. And then all of a sudden, I'm not living in the house. I'm not paying it. And then I'm like supposed to come up with it. And I'm like, I don't make that kind of money. I pay for every freaking thing else. And that's the one thing that you're supposed to do. So I was borrowing money from my family, my dad, Chris, my mom. God, it's embarrassing.
Mm.
And I'm just like, and then occasionally he'd be like, "Oh, here's $1,000. That's what I can come up with." I'm like, not even half the mortgage. Not even half the mortgage. Okay. But you're out there, you bought people onto the property. They're living in our garage. They're park a trailer out there and you guys are high as a kite every day, ordering Uber Eats, all this kind of stuff, buying ridiculous shit. And I'm just like, okay, but the children and I can fucking sit here in, I'm like, okay, what am I going to cook the kids tonight that I can afford to get? It was cheaper for us for such a long time to eat out, like go to Jack in the Box or to Carl's Jr. than it was for me to go buy healthy food. So we had to do, I'm like, okay, they have dollar tacos at Jack in the Box. Let's go get some dollar tacos, you know? Or if Bonds was having a sale on cheese, I'd buy the big bags of cheese and some tortillas and I'm so sick of quesadillas. Let me tell you, like, macaroni and cheese. And we lived off that shit for so long. Just, yeah, it was horrible. And then I went through my savings. I couldn't borrow money from my parents anymore. And then in 21, I couldn't make the mortgage. He was still not in the house, but living on the property in January of 21. But then when I asked for help from our mortgage company, because this is the only way that we're going to be able to keep the house, he signed the paperwork. Sis even took it to him in the hospital. He read it all and signed it. And he discussed it with Sis. Back and forth, they were talking about it, she said. And I'm like, okay. And he gave it to me and I filed it. And he filed contempt charges on our restraining order because he said that I willfully didn't pay our mortgage. And here's a whopper he included. He said that Rick offered me almost $12,000 to pay the mortgage. I'm like, who's going to buy that crock of bullshit? But he did. He put that in there. And I'm just like, you think I would? If Rick would have wanted to pay that, you think I wouldn't have taken that?
Yeah.
I would have gladly taken that money. I would have been like, "Here, thanks. I hope your buddy pays you back."
How would he think anyone but would believe that? That a friend of his is gonna give you $12,000 because he can't show up and pay his what he's responsible for?
One of the people he had moved onto the property, I used to park my car in the back because we had a back
Mhm,
driveway, and you have to go through the back to the backyard, which is the garage. And
uh-huh.
he came up to me and said, hey, I want to give you some money towards mortgage." He's like, "I know I've been living here rent free and you've been coming out and asking Edgar and he's not giving you, and I know he's got it." So I think like what he gave me like 1600. I'm like, a stranger overhearing the joker tell me he's not giving me the mortgage or doing anything, nothing. The stranger who I never agreed to let live on my property, and you know, I think it was 15 or $1,600. I was like, and I cried. I was crying because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this man who personally don't know, I mean,
Mhm.
other than a name, cares more about what's happening with my children than their father.
Yeah, man, if that doesn't tell a whole story right there, right? The Joker should be ashamed isn't even enough. I mean, he should not be able to show his face anywhere.
And he was pissed. He was pissed at, I'm not going to say his name, at who this was, because he didn't give it to the Joker.
Of course. Of course, that makes sense. Yeah. He's more important. Ugh, I feel so rageful right now.
Like, my mom literally is like, "You should write all this stuff down and send it to, like, Lifetime or something like that," but she's like, "It's so insane, I don't even think if they made a Lifetime movie, it would be believable."
Yeah, people might think this is over the top, right? But
This is total fiction. This couldn't have happened.
yeah, nope. Unfortunately, this happens to most people who are splitting up from a narcissist. And like I said, I mean, he's done it 3 times. You
Yes.
know, you're the longest and the most serious relationship and included property and all of that stuff. But he's done this to 3 different sets of kids. I shouldn't be surprised. Like this is his history. He's shown us who he was over and over again. But he was really able to put on a show with you and how he was such a great, I mean, outwardly, not with you,
Yeah,
but
no, no.
outwardly, like he was doing all the right things and such a great dad. I think I'm really fed up with them getting away with not just him, but all of these men that I hear about. And sorry to any men that are listening, but it's women that I work with. And this is the story over and over and over again. Like, I have a client who she's been like, "How am I gonna pay my rent?" Because of the financial abuse. He just refuses to pay, and that's actually a couple of clients in that boat with little kids
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a single income in Southern California.
Yeah. I sent you the pictures of 900 or 1,500 square feet. I can't, that's not, I don't know. It's a huge, you can park like 6 to 10 cars in there.
The garage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in it.
Okay. Well, I've sent you the pictures right after he left, what it looks like on the inside.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Needles everywhere. I mean, clothes with shit and piss, unk everywhere. It's destroyed. It is destroyed. And I'm just like, he filed in the previous settlement offer that he was going to get. He wants to go with Watts, which he wanted to charge me $1,300 a month since he's been out of the house, since I occupy the home, that he could have rented out that space. I'm like,
What?
how could you have rented out that space? First, it's a biohazard.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to touch anything until we figure all this stuff out. And the guys that I had come, they go, "We're not going to touch it. That's a biohazard."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Can you give me a quote so I can, or somebody to call?" And they're like, "No, you're going to have to contact San Diego, like City Works or like that to come in, and they're going to the place. They might even knock it down." Yeah. But he wants, and I think his total came up to like, I don't know, between 40 and $50,000 that he wants to charge me. And I'm like, okay. And
Fucking
here's me
idiot.
like going through my brain going, okay, how were you going to fix it? Because according to you, you were incapacitated.
Yes, and
Okay.
disabled and can't
Disabled,
do.
can't do anything, nothing. Okay. So how are you gonna fix it? You were gonna hire somebody? Where'd that money come from? You said you don't have any money. So what you're telling me is you did have money.
Yeah.
No, then how are you gonna fix it? It's like,
Unbelievable. Yeah, well, there's no logic behind any of this. It's just take, take, take. Just try to get anything you possibly can. and fuck everybody else, and who cares what your kids need. You know, I think one of the biggest disappointments of all, I mean, it's unfortunate that people like this exist, but that the court systems are not seeing what they do, and all of these games. And I've been researching divorce stuff a lot, divorcing a narcissist specifically. And all of the advice out there, and the only things I can find is basically don't act crazy, and telling the women that mostly because these are mostly divorces with the male narcissist and the non-narcissist spouse. But it's basically saying that, you can't bring emotion into anything. You can't bring mental abuse up. You can only talk about what's best for the kids. Forget about the fact that he's punched you or done horrible things to you. None of that matters. The judge just wants to hear what's best for the kids. And like you said before, keep families together, keep kids together with their parents, no matter what. And that's also bullshit, because the damage that motherfucker has caused for your children in particular, because they spent so much time with, and it is repugnant.
Yes.
It's despicable that he's been able to get away with this.
Well, it's sad that the court systems work the way they do, because like my lawyer says, you're not allowed to react. You're not, and he's spewing lies, and I'm never a loud person, but trying to hold back tears, like literally my whole body's shaking, like I guess you would do in a freezing cold storm. I'm just shaking because I'm so upset about what he's saying. And I can't say anything because that would be an emotional response. Well, damn
Yeah,
right I'm emotional.
of course.
I should be emotional, but you can't bring that in. And they're like, facts only. I said, but it's not facts only. Family court, you should know the emotional shit that was going on, because that's the abuse. The emotional abuse is, in my opinion, in my situation, not in every, it was 10 times worse than the physical. You're telling me that I can't bring that up? I can't respond to the freaking lies that are spewing out of his mouth? No, you can't, because then that makes you an emotional person.
So the bigger crime there is, not the abuse, but the emotional reaction. That makes zero sense.
I know.
I hate this. I swear to God, I've been thinking about going to law school for so long, and now I'm just too old, but I really wish I would have. And I don't know that you can make any kind of change, but maybe it's one case here and one case there where they're held accountable for the emotional torture that they put their families through. And that sets precedent, and then maybe judges start paying attention and other lawyers start paying attention. It's just, I don't know. I think I'm just jaded, like I said. I'm so disappointed
It's
in
kind of
all of
hard not to
this.
be jaded these days.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a bigger thing that I'm jaded about. And not bigger, but just like so much stuff. And this is definitely part of it. The inequity for women especially, uh because we're the ones that typically get the brunt of this. And I feel bad for anybody who gets the brunt of this, the abuse that a narcissist brings to the relationship, and especially to the children. But I feel like women are in a power down position.
Well, yeah, and that like, that's another thing that you're bringing up. No, we're not making as much money. He went above and beyond to say that he was the supporter of the family. I worked, but I also came home and worked with the kids and did all that kind of stuff, and did everything like that while he was out gallivanting and doing everything else. That's not soul supporting. Yes, you made more money than I did. You absolutely made more money. I mean, I worked just as many hours, and I took my standby, which makes me actually work more hours, but you made more an hour. Yes, absolutely. Fine. I went part-time for a little bit because I was going to go back to school. And because of his drinking problem, his drug problem, I had to quit school, go back full-time because it wasn't sustainable. So
I didn't know that. I knew about you going part time, and I think I knew, was it for nursing?
yeah, I was going back because I have like, I think biology. I had a couple sciences left to do, and then I can nursing school. Yeah, one semester into my bio class. No, he's drunk. I can't go. Can't leave the kids. My biology professor back then, he was amazing because I missed more classes than I should have. But
Yeah.
I can't leave the kids with an inebriated dad, a
Mm-mm.
high dad, or one that is screaming and yelling and cursing. And I can't walk out the door in good conscience and go, "I should go to school." No.
No, of course not.
So, no, my school got put on the back burner, still on the back burner.
Yeah, well, it took me, I don't know, 20 years to graduate with my bachelor's, so don't feel bad.
I wanna go back to school. I'm hoping, but and we've talked about this, the abuse affects memory, it affects, a bunch of stuff, and I have a lot of stuff with memory. I used to have an amazing memory. Short term, long term, everything was amazing, but now it's a little off, and, like, I sometimes have trouble finding the right word.
Oh, yeah.
So and you keep telling me it'll get better when it's all done. I'm like, "That's why I want it
Well,
done."
that's one very good reason of many to have this all done. You're under a lot of stress, and stress impacts memory too. I wanna tell you, I swear I'm gonna be like I'm doing a commercial. I've been taking this stuff, Cognizin, and it's 250 milligram capsules. I started taking this after my dad died, so it's just been like a couple months because I was so foggy and so messed up, I could not remember anything after my dad died, and I swear that's what brought my brain back online. And I'm not I take some supplements because I figure, what's it gonna hurt? This is the only one where I've been like, "Oh my god, what a difference
Can
this
tell
has
the
made."
difference. Okay, send me
Yeah,
the link.
I will send you the link. It's worth it to me. I mean, I can't it might be like, it's a little expensive, but to have my brain working again, I was getting worried.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
that's how I
constant
feel. I'm like, this isn't
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say, like, under the constant stress and having it continue to be bad memory, it does get scary. And the communication back and forth just this past week with him probably brings up a whole bunch of stuff,
oh,
right?
definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So you're gonna be forgetful because of this added stress too, and just be patient with yourself.
Oh, I try to be, but, it's I feel like one of those old grandmothers get mad because they can't remember, and I'm sitting there going, "I should know."
Yeah, I know. I was feeling bad talking to Alyssa and, just the people in my house because I felt like I was taking so long just to get a sentence out because I couldn't remember what I was saying. So I get it. It's frustrating and maybe a little embarrassing too. Like,
Very. I
I
think it's
know that,
very embarrassing for
yeah,
myself.
yeah. Unfortunately, honestly, this should be something we could present in court too, to tell you the truth, because it ripples out into every little bit of your life. And then, God, what are you even forgetting? Like, what if you forget something really important? Yeah, that's terrible.
I
Well,
have to keep my routine consistent because if I don't, I forget. So, keep it consistent, keep it consistent, keep it consistent. Like, kids are all, "It's Saturday, mom, why are you up so early?" I'm like, "Consistent, I have to, yeah,
yeah,
I gotta take my meds, I gotta do this, I gotta," and they're like,
but at 5 o'clock in the morning,
well, that's what they say. They're like, I mean, my brain's wired to get up early, like 5 o'clock. That would be amazing to sleep until 5 o'clock. I was like, that would be
Sarah.
great. Yeah, like when I was sick and I slept like 2 days, oh my god, that was heaven. I like that was so heaven. I mean, I felt
I,
like crap, but I was sleeping.
I was just going to say, it's too bad it had to come with a price, but I'm glad you got rest.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I hope that that will find a way to fix itself too. And honestly, I just hope this is over with for you soon.
Yes.
And that the length of time that this has gone on is just despicable too.
So, with what's happening now, the Joker and his lawyer are supposed to be sending my lawyer a settlement. It's supposed to be today or early next week. So, knowing the Joker the way I know the Joker, it's going to be outlandish, like ridiculous what he's going to be asking for.
No doubt.
Basically, I think then the next step is we counter it, and then of course he denies it because he will, and then I'll have to go to trial. And my lawyer is saying that can cost anywhere from on the low side $10,000 to $12,000 and up. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Asking for an exuberant thing. I'm asking for what's owed for my children and myself. That's it.
Mhm.
I'm not going for payback. I'm not a bitter ex. I want what my children and I deserve.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's the bare minimum.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
And like at the other settlement hearing we had, I was told to stop being so nice.
I'm not
That,
surprised to hear that either.
yeah, they're like, stop, stop.
Yeah.
You need to focus on your kids and your children. I said, I know, but I want this done. And he goes, that's the problem. You are going to give in because you're so willing to finish this for your children's sake, but you need to think of it as this is owed to your children.
Yeah,
So he changed my way of thinking. Yes, it would be an escape. It would be an out of the hell that we've been put through, but it would show nothing for the hell or his responsibilities that he needs to do for his children.
absolutely.
It's just giving him another escape.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Honestly, if you chose that, there's no shame in that either, though, right? Because you
No,
have to preserve yourself. But I honestly, I hope you stick it to him. I hope no, not you, because you won't. I think you'll ask for what's fair. Honestly, I hope he has to make up for all of the shit he pulled with me and with Kathy, and you get a a good settlement just out of vengeance for that, and just for what he truly owes, and for what he's put you through for the last several years. Yeah, I'm telling you, it frickin' it burns me up. It just burns me up that the lack of fairness and equity in all of this is just but I can't think of a better word, despicable.
it is. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting for my children. It's exhausting for me, our mental health. Oh my God.
Yeah. And who wins? The lawyers, right? This yeah, this makes no sense. I know this is not what we planned on talking about today, but ugh, I'm sorry you're dealing with this. I do, really do. I wish a lightning bolt would strike him or something and he'd suddenly grow at least a conscience. He probably won't grow any empathy, but just do something. Do something that isn't selfish and that is for the children that you helped bring to this planet, right?
Mom, she instilled in me when I was younger, when you're going through hard times, one day at a time. Can't do
Yeah.
one day at a time, 1 hour, 5 minutes, 1 second. Just that's all you can do. That's all you can do. So that's what we're doing. One day at a time. Even a bad day, you can try to turn into a good day. I mean, spending time with my kids, even picking up my daughter from school, that can change my day.
Honestly, that's such a good lesson. We live in the future worrying about, well, things that we have no control over. We're missing out on the present. And I know that people say that, but it's really true. Yeah. Yeah. More power to you. I've got your back. Whatever you need, if I can support you, I am there for you. I will do whatever it takes.
Appreciate that. I do.
I know.
If if it doesn't go my way or whatever, I have my kids.
Yeah. Right. And if it doesn't, God forbid, but if it doesn't, if you can get your freedom and just really not have to ever even share another word with him again, that would be fantastic. But I want you to have
That
it
would be
all.
amazing.
Yeah. I want you to have it all.
I'm
Yeah.
willing to give up a lot of stuff, but I'm not willing to give up my children's future for him.
No, definitely
That's
not.
what it's basically how I feel. That's what he's asking for me to basically set aside my children and give up their futures and what they deserve. Not going to do that.
No, no. Well, I think a lot of times it's easier for us to fight for our kids and someone else than it is for ourselves. And I'm glad you've got that fight in you. They
I
deserve
personally
it.
don't want anything from him. I want him to support his children.
Yeah, fair enough.
I got me and I got my kids,
Mhm.
but he should get the kids too.
At the minimum, yes.
It's not that it happened after he was out of the house. It's happened for years before that. He's always put himself first. Everything. Children's birthday parties has to ruin them. When family comes over, has to ruin it. Any situation, if he's not the main focus, it's not okay. And he's got to find a way to ruin it or embarrass me, like joke around in a very hurtful way in front of people. And that's a joke.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
always a
well,
joke. Yep.
no. Yeah, he owes it to the kids.
Yes, he does. Well,
If anybody had to take anything away from this is it's not easy. But look at you got away from him. You are a strong, independent person and you deserve what you deserve. So figure out what that is and stick to it.
absolutely. And I think the episode before this one, we are talking about kind of the excitement about learning who you are again. And we need to keep that in mind as well. This is very hard. And even if you're not away from them yet, trying to get away, or even in the thinking stage of getting away, or how am I going to stay until the kids are grown or whatever stage anyone is in. I think there's always room for you to be you, and taking time for, I guess, understanding what that means to you and stepping out of the shadow as much as you can of the narcissist.
Absolutely. Even if you're in the beginning, you're recognizing signs,
Y-
and that's proving how strong you are. Act on those signs right away. It's keep saying, "Follow your gut."
Exactly. Listen to that intuition.
Brenda and I just wanna say thank you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your comments. We are here for you. Email us, text us. We're here to support you. Thank you for supporting us in our podcast.
Yes. Thank you.